EMF equation of transformer. So that N1 is the number of turns in primary winding. Transformer having two windings, primary winding and secondary winding. So N1 is the number of turns in primary winding, N2 is the number of turns in secondary winding, and the flux is called magnetic. Is proportional to the magnetic flux density into cross-sectional area. Okay, flux phi is equal to B into A. So maximum flux in the core is in Webers. So the flux is equal to, so B is called maximum flux density. Okay, units are Weber per meter square, and area is the A is called cross-sectional area of the transformer core. Okay, A is called cross-sectional area of the transformer core, and F is called frequency of the input AC voltage and the edges. Frequency of the input AC voltage F. Okay, so N1 is the number of turns in primary, N2 is the number of turns in secondary, and pi m is called maximum volume of the flux in Webers, and F is called frequency. And then, so from this sinusoidal, this is the input. Am I right? This is the input voltage of this the transformer AC. So as shown in figure, this flux is increases from 0. It's so this also is called flux waveform is also like this. Okay, so flux is also increases from 0 onwards. The flux increases from 0 value to its maximum value pi m. Okay, so 0 to, so here this is called maximum pi m. Okay, at 90 degrees, this is maximum value of the flux is called pi m, and also this is called time period. Total time period is nothing but t. Total time period here is called 0 to t. Here 360 degrees is nothing but total time period, that is called t. Here half of the time period, that is called half cycle, t by 2, and then quarter cycle, that's called t by 4. This is the time period, so t by 4. You know, well, so time and frequencies are inversely proportional. So that's why for 1 quarter cycle, so the 1 by 4f seconds. So 1 by t is equal to 1 by f. So that's why 1 by 4f seconds. Then the average rate of change in flux is nothing but pi m divided the maximum value of the flux here divided by 1 by 4f. Okay, so maximum value of the flux here, this flux divided by 1 by 4f. It's called the average rate of change of flux. Average rate of change of flux from 0 to, so 90 degrees, nothing but the time period 0 to t by 4. This is the average rate, average rate of change in flux in the transformer core. Okay, so 0 to t by 4. This is the flux is slowly increasing. This is called the average rate of change of flux. That is called pi m. This is divided by 1 by 4f. That is equal to 4f pi m in Weber per second or volts. Okay, this is called average rate of change in flux in Weber per second or volts. So that is equal to 4 pi f. Okay, 4 f into pi m. This is called maximum value of flux. Okay, and then now the rate of change of flux per turn means induced EMF per turn. Am I right? Rate of change of flux E is equal to N into d by dt. So rate of change of flux is nothing but means induced EMF per turn. So E is equal to minus N into d by dt. That is called d pi by dt is called rate of change of flux. The rate of change of flux d pi by dt is equal to E by N. That is called EMF per turn. Understood? Rate of change of flux, that is called d pi by dt. This means induced EMF per turn, that is called E by N. E means induced EMF in the transformer. Primary winding divided by number of turns is called EMF per turn. Then average EMF per turn is equal to 4f pi m volts. Okay, so d pi by dt is this is the rate of change of flux. No? This is the rate of change of flux. Okay, that is equal to d. This is equal to average rate of change of flux. That is equal to d pi by dt, and the d pi by dt is equal to that is called average change of flux is nothing but EMF induced per turn. Okay, rate of change of flux in per turn means induced EMF per turn. E is equal to minus N into d pi by dt according to the Farade's law. Then average EMF per turn is equal to 4 f pi m volts. If the flux is varies sinusoidally, you know well the RMS value of the induced EMF obtained by the multiplying the average value of the Form factor. Form factor is equal to RMS value by average value. Am I right? Form factor is equal to RMS value by average value. Then RMS value is equal to, so average value into form factor. So innovable for sinusoidal waveform, the form factor is equal to 1.11. Okay. So 1.11. So form factor for sinusoidal waveform, that is equal to 1.11. Am I right or not? So form factor is equal to RMS value by average value. Then RMS value is equal to form factor into average value. So this RMS value of the EMF per turn is equal to 1.11 into 4 F into pi m. So that is equal to 4.44 into F into pi m volts. Okay, this is called RMS value of EMF per turn. Then now RMS value of the induced EMF whole of the primary winding will be, okay. So here RMS value of EMF per turn, that is called E by N. This is called for 1 turn. This is the 4.44 into F into pi m. For n terms, so N into 4.44 into F into pi m. Am I right? Okay. So here, so now RMS value of the induced EMF in whole of the primary winding will be induced EMF per turn into number of primary turns. That is called E by N1 into E by N into N1. N1 N1 cancel, then it will become E1 only. So then 4.44 into N1 into F into pi m. Pi is equal to B into A. Pi is equal to B into A. Substitute here and then we'll get like this. E is equal to 4.44 into N into F into B into A volts. So this is the EMF induced in the transformer primary winding. This is called EMF equation of the transformer winding. Similarly, the RMS value of the induced EMF in the whole of the secondary winding will be, okay. So induced EMF per turn into number of secondary turns, that is called E2 by N2 into N2. Then E2 is equal to 4.44 into N2 into F into pi Bm into A. This is called sir. So here primary side and secondary side, this is constant. Frequency is constant. V maximum, that is called maximum flux density. This is called maximum flux density. Here maximum flux density is constant. And A cross sectional area of the transformer. Because of this, so for same transformer, this is called induced EMF in the primary winding and induced EMF in the secondary winding. Only turns are changing. Okay, only number of turns in primary and secondary windings are changing, but not transformer is not changing. And also the operating frequency of the transformer is constant. You I'm already explained, but so what is the frequency device? When the transformer is a constant frequency device, am I right now? Transformer is a constant frequency device, constant flux device. Okay, here constant frequency, and here pi is equal to pi m. Here also flux pi, here also flux pi. Okay, the flux is constant. So only changing here turns only. Here N1 turns, here N2 turns. Okay, E1 is called primary induced EMF and E2 is called secondary side induced EMF. So understood? Then it is seen from the equation 1 and 2. So from this equations 1 and 2, E1 by N1 is equal to E2 by N2. That is equal to 4.44 into pi into E, B into A, or otherwise pi m. Okay, into A, 4.44 into F into Bm into A. Okay, it means that the EMF turn in the same in both primary and secondary windings. Understood? The E1 by N1 is called EMF per turn. EMF per turn in primary and secondary windings is same. E1 by N1 is equal to E2 by N2. Understood? So this is the EMF equation of transformer. Then so here EMF equation of single phase transformer and three phase transformer same. Okay, so in this way is also it is possible to derive the EMF equation of the transformer. Okay, so when AC voltage is applied to the primary winding of the transformer, alternating flux set up in the iron core of the transformer. Okay, right? If it is transformer is excited by AC voltage, then the alternating flux is set up in the transformer core. Okay, the alternating flux links both primary and secondary windings. Okay, when in the transformer is excited by AC source, okay, the alternating flux is set up in the transformer core, and then alternating flux. So this flux primary winding, whatever the flux generated by the primary winding links the secondary winding. Am I right? That is called transformer action. With the flux in the same sign function, the rate of change of flux with respect to time is derived mathematical solution. Pi m is called maximum value of the flux in reverse. It is called frequency, supply frequency in edges. N1 is the number of turns in primary. It is the number of turns in secondary, and the pi is called flux per turn. That is called Webers. Okay, and then so this is the flux waveform. The alternating is sinusoidal. So this is called maximum value of the flux, and this called time changing with respect same as the sinusoidal voltage. This is voltage waveform, and your flux waveform both are same. It's sine waveform. So from this figure, so above figure, the flux changes from plus to here positive to negative half cycle. Okay, that is called 1/2 of seconds. Okay, 1/2 seconds. Half cycle for half cycle t/2 now. So that is called 1/2. So according to the Faraday's law, you know well, E is equal to minus n into d by dt. The d by dt is called so E1 by n. So you know well, the maximum value of the induced EMF E1 maximum is equal to n1 to omega to pi m. This is called maximum value of induced EMF. E1 maximum is equal to n1 into omega into pi m, and then you know well, omega is equal to 2 pi f. Okay, substitute here, and then E1 maximum is equal to 2 pi f into n1 into pi m. The you know well, RMS value is equal to VRMS is equal to Vm by root 2. So then E1 is equal to E maximum by root 2. So RMS value of the induced EMF is nothing but E1 max by root 2. Substitute this E1 maximum here, and then we'll get E1 is equal to root 2 pi into f into n1 into pi m. That is called E1 is equal to, so root 2 into pi is nothing but 4.44 into pi f into n1 into pi m. This is called similarly secondary winding also E2 is equal to 4.44 into f into n2. So like this, in this also it is possible to derive the EMF equation of the transformer. Okay, so by taking the maximum value of induced EMF, so E is equal to minus n into d by dt. The maximum value of induced EMF is nothing but pi m. Okay, so this pi m is so EMF is nothing but E1 maximum is nothing but so n1 into omega m into pi m. So this understood. So then coming to the next, the voltage and current ratio of the transformer. Voltage and current ratios of the transformer. So voltage and current ratio of primary and secondary windings is given so like this manner. So you know the relation primary when this induced EMF in the primary winding given is equal to 4.44 into f into n1 into pi m. Am I right? Similarly, E2 is equal to 4.44 into f 4.44 into f into n2 into pi. No? Am I right? And then taking a ratio of these two, and then you will get E1 by E2 is equal to n1 by n2. Am I right? E1 by E2 is equal to n1 by n2. Am I right? So E1 by E2. So only changing in the n1 here only changes in n2. So that's why E1 by E2 is equal to n1 by n2, or E2 by E1 is equal to n2 by n1. Understood? At load, so V1 is equal to E1 and V2 is equal to E2. Substitute V1 by V2 is equal to n1 by this. Otherwise, another way of expression. So V1 by V2 is equal to n1 by n2. Okay. So in the form of induced EMF, in the form of supply voltages, okay, E1 by E2 is equal to n1 by n2, or E2 by E1 is equal to n2 by n1. Okay, V1 is equal to E1 and V2 is equal to V1 at load. So when the load is connected, so this V1 is equal to E1 and V2 is equal to V1. So approximately equal, then so V1 by V2 is equal to N1 by N2, or V2 by V1 is equal to N2 by N2. Okay, the V1 is called primary voltage and V2 is called secondary voltage. Understood? And if efficiency of the transformer is 100%, efficiency of the transformer is 100%, means there is no losses. Okay, there is no losses in transformer. Efficiency is 100%, means there is no losses. Input power is equal to output power. Okay, if any losses are there, that means input power is not equal to output power. But if you consider 100% is efficiency, then input power is nothing but V1 I1 cos pi 1, power is equal to VI cos pi 1. So V1 I1 cos pi 1 is equal to V2 I2 cos pi 2. So practically cos pi 1 is equal to cos pi 2. So cos pi 1 is equal to cos pi 2. So then V1 I1 is equal to V2 I2. Okay, then I1 by I2 is equal to V2 by 1. Here, so I1 by I2 is equal to V2 by 1. Opposite, na? But here V1 by V2 is equal to N2 by 1. Number of turns is proportional to the number of turns is proportional to the voltage. Here voltage is proportional to the number of turns. So the voltage increases means number of turns is increasing means voltage is also increasing. Right? So E2 is proportional to N2, E1 is proportional to N1. Am I right? E1 is proportional to N1 and E2 is proportional to N2. That means if the EMF induced in the transformer is proportional to the number of turns, the number of turns are increasing, EMF induced in the transformer is increasing. Okay, that voltage is increasing and decreasing by using the number of turns. If the number of turns are increasing, the voltage induced in the primary or secondary winding is increases if the number of turns are increases. Okay, but current V1 I1 is equal to V2 I2, so I1 by I2 is equal to V2 by V1. So I1 is inversely proportional to the V1. Okay, so and also I1 by I2 is equal to V2 by V1. So I1 is proportional to V2 and also so V2 by V1 is equal to N2 by N1 is called K. K is called transformation ratio. Okay, so V2 by V1 is equal to N2 by N1, that is equal to K, and then so V2 by V1 is nothing but N2 by N1, that is equal to I1 by I2, then that is equal to N2 by N1. Okay, so this means current is inversely proportional to the number of turns in primary. Okay, current is inversely proportional to the turns. The number of turns are increasing means current is decreasing. Inversely proportional. I1 is inversely proportional to the N1. So I1 is equal to I1 is proportional to 1 by N1. The number of turns in primary winding is increases means the current I1 decreases. If the number of turns in secondary winding increases means the current I2 is decreasing. That means current is inversely proportional, but voltage is proportional. That means when we are increasing the number of turns of the transformer winding, the voltage increases, current decreases. That's why this transformer is a constant power device. Power is not increasing. Okay, power is that's why it is called as not a power amplifier. It's not a power amplifier, and also it's not a generator. Okay, so that input side of the power and output side power both are same. Even though voltage is increasing primary, voltage is increasing secondary, or decreasing in the secondary, this resultant of the V1 I1 is constant. The power is constant. Here cos pi 1 is called power factor of the primary side, cos pi 2 is called power factor of the second side. So this is the voltage and the current ratio that is the transformer. And then so next transformation ratio. The transformation ratio, this total expression you can write in like this. So here E2 by E1 is equal to N2 by N1, and also this N2 by N1 is equal to I1 by I2. So that is equal to K. Am I right? From this relations. So transformation ratio E2 by E1 is equal to N2 by N1 is equal to V2 by V1, and also that is equal to I1 by I2 is equal to K. Understood? This is called transformation ratio. Understood? And one more ratio, this is called turns ratio is also there. Turns ratio and transformation ratios both are different. Turns ratio is nothing but N1 by N2. That is denoted by A. Small a is equal to N1 by N2. Okay. This is equal to 1 by A. Okay. K is equal to 1 by A. That is nothing but N1 by N2 or V1 by V2, I2 by I1. Opposite. That is called turns ratio. But here K is called transformation ratio. This is called transformation ratio. K is called transformation ratio, where N1 and N2 are the number of turns in primary and secondary winding of the transformer, and I1 and I2 is the primary and secondary current of the transformer, and V1 and V2 is called primary and secondary voltage respectively, like this, and E1 and E2 are primary and secondary induced EMFs. Okay, this is about transformation ratio. So try to remember, transformation ratio is different and turns ratio is different. Transformation ratio is nothing but N2 by N1. Turns ratio, okay, is nothing but N1 by N2. Okay, transformation ratio K is equal to N2 by N1, V2 by V1, I1 by I2, otherwise E2 by E1. Okay, that is called transformation ratio. Turns ratio, opposite, exactly opposite of this. Turns ratio is nothing but N1 by N2, V1 by V2, I2 by I1, and E1 by I2. Like this. This is about transformation ratio of the transformer. Then coming to the practical transformer on load. Practical transformer on load. Okay. So here, so this is the phasor diagram of the transformer. Phasor diagram of the transformer. Okay. So in this, Under no load condition means, under no load condition means, this is called secondary winding. No? This is called primary winding. This primary winding is connected to the supply. Okay. The secondary winding is connected to the load. Okay. Primary winding is connected to the supply and the secondary winding is connected to the load. If load is not connected, that means current flowing to the load is equal to 0. Now. If the load is not connected, means for example, this is load is nothing but fan. Let us assume the secondary winding of the transformer is connected to the fan. Fan is switched off means the fan is switched off. That means there is no current flowing to the fan. So that means it's open circuit. Am I right? The load is not connected means open circuit. This switch off means open circuit. That's why under no load condition means the secondary winding of the transformer is like open circuit. It's not connected to the any load. Okay, that's why the current flowing to the secondary side I2 is equal to 0. Right? The current flowing to the secondary winding of the transformer, this is called I2 is equal to 0. Understood? This is called I2 is equal to 0. If I2 is equal to 0 means what is the current primary side I1? I1 is also 0. Okay. So because of I1 is proportional to I1. So V1 I1 is equal to V2 I2. I1 is proportional to I2. I2 is called secondary winding of the transformer. I1 is called primary winding of the transformer. If the I2 is equal to 0, then I1 is also 0. Okay. I1 by I2 is equal to by I1. I1 is proportional to I2. The secondary current of the transformer is equal to, okay, the secondary side of the transformer 0. This is called I2 is equal to 0. That means open circuited. This there is no connected load. There is no load is there is no here load is not there here. That means load is not connected to the transformer secondary winding. That's called switch is open. So there is means open circuited. Under open circuit condition, this voltage becomes 0. Current becomes 0. I2 is equal to 0. The open circuit condition current 0. Okay, I2 is equal to 0 and I1 is proportional to I2. Then here what is the primary current I1? Then I1 is equal to 0. Okay, ideally. But practically is different. Ideally, this primary current I2 is equal to 0. The primary current I1 is also 0. Ideally, but practically is different. Understood? Practically different because of the transformer core is excited because of some flux magnetizing current. Because a small amount of current is flowing to the transformer core of the transformer, the current is called no load current. Okay, a practical transformer hasn't 100% efficiency due to losses. Right? This transformer is not having 100% efficiency. So 100% efficiency means there is no loss, but practically the transformer is having some losses. So that's why the practical transformer hasn't 100% efficiency due to losses. Transformer under no load condition. Under no load condition, the transformer is on no load when the secondary winding is open circuit, like this. Secondary winding is open circuit, so that secondary current of the transformer I2 is equal to 0. So when AC supply is applied to the primary winding, small amount of current I0 flows to the primary winding of the transformer. This primary winding on no load conditions also, under no load condition also, this primary winding of the transformer is connected to the supply. Am I right? The primary winding of the transformer is connected to supply. So if I2 is equal to 0, okay, so that I1 is proportional to I2. That means I1 is also 0. But ideally, but it is not a ideal transformer. It's a practical transformer. That's why it's having some losses. Because of that, small amount of current is passing through the primary winding of the transformer. Under no load condition also. Under no load condition. Under load is removed condition also. Load is switched off condition also. A small amount of current that is called no load current flowing to the primary winding of the transformer. Okay, when AC supply is applied to the primary winding, a small amount of current I0 flows in primary winding. Okay, this is called no load current. The current I0 is called as a no load current of the transformer. It is made up of with two components, IMU and IW. So that is called magnetizing current. IMU is called magnetizing current. So the magnetizing current is used to excite the transformer primary. Okay, transformer primary winding. This is a small amount of current is required to excite the transformer primary winding. That means this, because of magnetizing current, this small amount of flux is developed in the transformer. This flux is generated by this magnetizing current, that is called I mu. So the magnetization component Im, otherwise I mu, which is responsible for production of the flux in the transformer. Understood? This so this I naught is having two components. Is made up with two components, that is called magnetizing current and watt-proof component. This magnetizing current, the magnetization of the component I mu or Im, which is responsible for the production of the flux in the transformer core, that is called this flux in the transformer core is because of this I mu, that is called magnetizing current. Understood? Under no load condition also, small amount of flux is established in the primary and secondary winding of the transformer. Okay, primary and secondary, and in the transformer core, the small amount of flux is so developed, that is called because of magnetizing component of current. Okay, understood? And another component is called IW, that is called watt-full component. Okay, the power component IC or IW, IC or IW, which is supply the total losses. Okay, the transformer, this transformer core is having some losses. I mean, eddy current losses. The transformer is having some losses, core hysteresis losses and eddy current losses. That losses can be represented in the form of IW. Okay, responsible for these losses are responsible for IW. That is called watt-full component. Understood? The component IMU is called magnetizing component and magnetizes the core. Okay, the magnetizes the core. The primary core of the transformer is magnetized because of this magnetization current IMU. Okay, and it is in phase with the pi m. Okay, this flux is developed because of the magnetizing current. That's why this flux pi and this flux pi and this magnetizing current both are in phase. Understood? This flux developed in the transformer core and this magnetizing current both are in phase. The magnetizing current because of the flux because of magnetizing current. That's why the magnetizing current and flux, maximum value of the flux, both are in phase. That's why so represented in phasor diagram. This is called flux and this is called Im or Imu is called magnetizing current. So both are in phase. Okay, so you know well how to draw the phasor diagram. In phase means this the angle between flux and Imu is equal to 0 now. Okay, the component Imu is called magnetizing component and the magnetizes the core and it is in phase with the pi m. Okay, is in phase with pi m. It is also called as a reactive component or wattless component of the no load current. Okay, so this is also called as the magnetizing current Imu. This is called magnetizing current. So Imu or Im is also called as this. Okay, so also called as wattless component or reactive component. It's also called reactive component or wattless component of no load current. Understood? And another component is called IW. Another component is called IW. This is called active component or working component or watt-full component, and it is in phase with the supply voltage because of this. So this because of this losses, the transformer primary winding is having some resistance. So that losses because of winding resistance. So for winding resistance, this voltage and across the resistor, voltage and currents are both are in phase. Am I right or not? That's why the watt-full component and the voltage both are in phase. Wattless components, that is called reactive power component, in phase with the magnetic flux. Understood? So here, so try to consider this is called magnetizing flux pi m, the flux and okay and magnetizing component Imu both are in phase. That's why so we have to represent it in this like this manner. And then watt-full component IC is called watt-full component. This is because of the winding resistance and losses in the transformer core. That's why this is acting as a just like the resistor. The losses across the resistor means across the resistor the voltage and the currents are both are in phase. That's why so the in phase with V1, in phase with IC. This IC is exactly in phase with V1. This is voltage across the resistor in phase V1, and this is called watt-full component. IW is because of watt-full component. Understood? So here I naught is called I naught is here current I naught is called no load current of the transformer. It is made up of with two components, I mu and IW. That means the resultant of the magnetizing component and wattful component is called no load current. That's why this is called magnetizing component and this is called wattful component. The resultant of these two is called no load current. That is called I naught. Understood? So it's clear. This is called magnetizing component Mu. This is called wattful component IW. The magnetizing component in phase with the flux and wattful component in phase with the supply voltage. And the resultant of this magnetizing component and wattful component is called I naught. That is called no load current. Okay, so it's clear, everyone. And then, according to the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, according to the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, E1 is equal to minus n into d pi by dt. So that is nothing but E1. So minus is nothing but length effect opposite, because that means here n into d pi by dt is called supply voltage. So V1 and this V1 and E1 are exactly opposite each other. Okay, exactly opposite each other. V1